Hello. Just want to talk about spiritualism itself. For me, how I look at it is I didn't find spiritualism till quite late in life. Again, as I said before, I've always known something was there. Never quite sure I knew what it was, but I wasn't brought up to be to believe in anything. I went to a Church of England school. I went to a multicultural primary school. As well as the Church of England. I went to a Church of England and a multicultural secondary school. My mum was Protestant. No, my dad was Protestant. My mum was Catholic. Neither of them practiced. But they both believed in marriage and divorce, and it was complicated. Now, for me, I always called myself an atheist. Pardon. But at the same principle, I didn't disrespect anyone else's beliefs or religions. Because just because I didn't believe in it, I'm not going to say that you can't believe in this. Like, if one of my children came up to me, said, Mum, I want to be Muslim, or the other one came up to me, I want to be Jewish, or I'm marrying a Jewish person, I'd say, like, okay. I'd buy your religion in your home to a certain degree, but don't, push it on to me too much. Do you know what I mean? I'd be tolerant. And to me, spiritualism, in a sense, is all about yourself and how you feel. Or the beginning of it is. Like, do you know what I mean? It's about self-discovery of yourself. It's about how you forgive yourself from whatever mistakes you think you've made, or or the situations you put yourself in or have been put in by other people that you think, I should have done that differently, or do you know what I mean? But as a child, you're not responsible. Like, I wasn't responsible for how I was brought up. Whatever happened in my childhood happened. But again, the way it works is, you're only given what you can handle, and that's what spirit do. So, and I always say life's a challenge anyway. Some people have more than others, and some people have less than others. But it's how you deal with it. And sometimes it does take its toll, and it does take ages for a person to overcome. Now, for me, before I discovered spiritualism and stuff, like I got into spiritualism, I'd done a lot of self-discovery in childhood trauma, bullying, being able to forgive people that done things to me as a child, to a certain degree. Not forgive all, but maybe understand why they did the things they did and how it impacted me. Do you know what I mean? It's very difficult to manoeuvre, because you've got to understand how that person works and how that person was brought up and what happens in their lives, especially if that person's a parent, has an impact on your life and how you're brought up. So it took a lot for me to do things like that, and it took me a good couple of years to sort of like work through the issues that I had. I done it by writing. I done it by going back to college. Getting my English GCSE. Then other things, events took over. And that's how I got into spiritualism. And it took a while, but even before spiritualism came along and I was working through them issues, for me, I can never forget what people put me through, but I could always forgive them to a certain degree and being able to move it on. And I think that's a big part of stuff, of being able to do that in a way. And also, sometimes it's accepting that you can't always change things, and that situations and environments around you are what they are. But at the same principle, if you've got a chance to change things, then for the better, hopefully, then why shouldn't you be able to? Why shouldn't you do that? So, as I said about acceptance, it's different for everyone. You know, once you accept stuff and you accept, like, you know, the past is the past, you can always change your future to a certain degree. You know, it's about the choices you make or the path you go down. And for me, you know, a lot of people say that humanity, we should do this and we should do that. But again, it's not all about giving all your money away to charity. It's not about, you know, financial means. Sometimes it's just about giving your time, you know, volunteering, for instance, or just giving your time to a neighbour, or making a telephone call to someone, helping someone carry their shopping, or just silly little things that make the world a better place. Do you know what I mean? Smiling at someone. You know, it doesn't... People think humanity is about, and charity is all about giving money, financial. You know, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't. You know, that's up to the individual. If I had it, by all means. But the same principle, it's also about giving your time to someone. You know, helping someone that needs your help. You know, or just supporting them. You know, just being there for someone to talk to. Doesn't have to be like something major. It's always about the little things that count. They always make up to something. That's how I look at it anyway. And also, it's... A lot of people nowadays are quite narrow-minded. And I'm not saying that I wasn't one of them. I stereotype people, for instance. Nowadays, it can be very hard to know what other people are thinking, or things like that. So if it's hard to do that, then maybe we all shouldn't do that. You know, it's about not labelling people. It's about not thinking, well, that person looks like this, or that's, you know, or that person lives in this area, so they must be so and so. Doesn't always look like that. You know, just as you see a gang of kids, you know, doesn't mean they're all up to mischief. You know, one of them might surprise her, or they all might surprise you. You know, give or take, there are some out there, it's just if and when. It's about, you know, being open to different things. You know, being open to different people, different culture, different way of doing things. Just learning not to be so hemmed in is the word. You know, so you're not so closed off and isolated. Because I find that sometimes being open-minded is, you know, is better. And it's like being non-judgmental. That comes along the similar lines, you know. Judging a situation, you know, sometimes you have to, but sometimes it's good to be open-minded about the possibilities of things happening, or the possibility of this friendship moving forward, or the possibility of this situation. It's just weird. It's like everyone has their own way of doing things, you know, and faith and belief and religion can be like very big thing in people's lives. It can be a huge thing. It can take over their lives. You know, it can give people hope. It can give people a place to belong. It can give people all manner of things. It's like, it's very hard to explain. But it also can make you grateful for that faith, for that belief, for belonging somewhere. Especially if you have difficulty fitting in, or you feel like an outsider. Because, you know, not everyone spiritually is weird and all the rest of it. just because we are spiritualists or we believe in what we believe in doesn't mean that we're outsiders. You know, I don't see anyone as an outsider. You know, it's about being part of something. It's about creating support, hope, you know, gratitude for ourselves and for the world around us. And also, it's about learning to love the world around us, even though there's a lot of things that, you know, we don't all like about the world. But we can't always have a world that's perfect, as we are not perfect. You know, we all have flaws. We all have flawed characters somewhere in our lives. You know, I'm a flaw. I've got flaws in my character. But at the same principle, they make you who you are. You know, you can't change the flaws in yourself, but you can change yourself, the way you look at things, the way you perceive things, the way you carry yourself, what you do in the world. It can be different. It's like people changing religions, people changing over into different careers. It's about lots of different things. You don't always have to stay standing still and let the world move around you. You can integrate yourself and move with the world, if that makes sense. In regards of how I think spiritualism works and how spirit works and our bodies work with it, you know, with me, I think and I believe to a point, like, if you want to be buried, that's great. That's entirely your choice. But to me, I want to be created. Because at the end of the day, I want to be given back to the earth. I want to be given back to the earth to help grow a tree, to help grow plants, to help nourish animals, whether it be insects, slugs, the grass, whatever. Because we all, you know, as our bodies get older and all the rest of it, we should, you know, should be able to give something back to the earth. Because, you know, we live on this planet, we're not exactly great looking after it. You know, some of us are doing our best and some of us are doing more than others and some people are doing less. But for me, spirit works. Spirit runs through me. Because that's the gift I was given and that's the ability I was given. So I need to give something back to Mother Nature and to spirit. So how I work it and what I believe is that we all go back into the earth and we all nourish the earth, the plants, the animals, but we all go up eventually into the air as well. So not only are we within the planet, the plants, the animals, we're also within the air around us and also within the water. Because, you know, there's, you know, who's to say that my ashes won't go into the sea? You know what I mean? So it's different for everyone, but that's what I believe in. Now, it might not make sense to everyone, and you might question it, which is fine. And if you've got any questions, feel free to answer, you know, feel free to send me a message or comment on it, and I'll do my best to answer it. But for me, that's what I believe in. You know, we are all spirit eventually, whether we believe in it or not, because that's where our spirit goes. Once we hit the earth, you know, that's our body, that's our, you know, our body, our flesh given back. But then your spirit rises and it goes within the air around us, you know, it goes everywhere. You know, even if you don't believe it or realise it, spirit is always there because it's in the air, it's in the water we drink, it's in the food that we eat to a certain degree, you know. And that's what I believe in. So it all comes full circle, you know, in a roundabout way. So, as I said, if you've got any questions, please let me know and comment or send me a message, and I'll do my best to answer them. Speak to you soon. Bye.